Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestling Break and to another edition of NXT Out of 10. And yeah, for the last NXT of the year, it's quite a big episode. We've got two main roster stars appearing, so yeah, lots of stuff going on. Big main event, four-way match, Solo Sikoa in action against Santos Escobar, so yeah, it's all popping off, so let's get straight into it. And it was Grayson Waller who kicks off NXT and talks about his appearance on Raw. Waller said he would have taken out AJ Styles last night if it's not for Apollo and disease. Waller says set to face Dex Lumis, but the latter wasn't cleared to compete after being hit with a chair last week, so Odyssey Jones came out as a replacement and Waller was walking out before the match even started. Jones taunted him and called Waller a bitch, and Grayson came back to start the match. Jones started off strong, and Waller took a big sideboard slam early on before back to the match. Waller got a near fall off an elbow drop, and Grayson took a modified powerbomb in the ring before sending Jones into one of the turnbuckles that was missing on the padding. Jones was in trouble and Waller hit the stunner before picking up the quick win. AJ Styles showed up on the Titan John after the match. The Phenomenal One said that he was going to be on NXT for New Year's Evil and teach Waller a lesson. Yeah, this was decent start to the show. The only problem I have is jumping out Odyssey Jones. Like, have you seen the size of that guy? He shouldn't be getting beat that easily. But, you know, I like how they were doing Waller and AJ Styles. That really elevates Waller. Laura Jade and Raquel Gonzalez were both getting ready for their match with Toxic Attraction. Shirai and Kaylee Ray showed up and they all wanted an NXT Women's title shot. Mandy Rose came on the screen and said the two teams should face each other tonight, and she said the winners will face her for the title at New Year's Evil, which is a good idea actually. Grayson Waller was backstage on NXT and accepted AJ's challenge before running into MSK as they were making their way to the ring. But before that, Sean Quinn was backstage and told Alexa Lopez to choose between him or Legado. MSK was then back in the ring and they were wearing RK Bro merch. Riddle showed up to make it onto the show and said they will be watching over them like a higher power. MSK then called out Imperium. The tag champs came out to tell Carter and Lee that they were never taking the titles off them. MSK demanded a title shot right now, and Walter showed up on the Titan John to say no. Riddle came back on the string and challenged Walter and Imperium to a 6-man tag team match next week at New Year's Evil, and the ring general agreed. I really can't wait for that. That's going to be absolutely class. Harlan and Joe Gacy were out next, and Brian Kendrick was set to have a match with the big guy, but he was a no-show. Andre Chase came out to take advantage and of the teachable moment and said that the university doesn't back down for a challenge. Gacy thanked Chase for volunteering to be a replacement, and Harlan took him out with a fist before the match started. Chase was sent out of the ring early on as the match officially started. Harlan then slammed Andre's head over and over the mat. The referee called the match off as Chase was knocked out. After the match, one of his students was trying to get Chase up, but Harlan came back and dragged him out of the ring before he and Gacy carried the poor fellow backstage. While Harlan did get a win and did it dominant, I'm kind of disappointed they did this to Andre Chase. It would be much better with Brian Kendrick, 5 out of 10. Before Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma were backstage in a heated argument with Sikoa, Escobar called him back and asked him to apologise for interfering with his family before Sikoa challenged into a match. And then we got Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henry, and of course Stratton's debut. Stratton got a big arm drag early on and hit a big slam as the match went on. Henry barely managed to get any shots in as Stratton got the flatliner / reverse STO for the win. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Really decent debut. I mean, it was basically a squash match, but yeah, a winning debut. What more can you ask? Before Diamond Mine was out next on NXT for the champion vs champion contract signing between Strong and Hayes, Mello and Trick showed up last, and Bivens was working as the meditator between Mello and Roddy. The two teams bickered with each other before Barrett came and brought them back on topic and resumed the signing. After the signatures were made, both teams were still at each other's throats, and Mello and Trick were walking out when the latter got mad. Bivens and Trick argued for a bit before the Creed brothers caught him and put Williams through a table. I don't really know what to say to be honest. It's just a general contract signing. I mean, like, it's fine, but yeah, whatever. Before we got Solo Sikoa versus Santos Escobar. Sikoa no-sold the early offense from Escobar, but Santos got him with an arm drag. The two backed off and we went back to the collar and elbow submissions before Sikoa powered through and shoved Escobar down to the mat. Escobar tried for a hold, but Sikoa got up and dropped him. Sikoa got a near fall off a big slam, and Escobar rolled out to the outside to regroup. Sikoa stared down Legado at ringside, and they backed off the distraction, which let Escobar get back in control. Back to the match, Escobar was going for the finisher, but Sikoa reversed the suplex. Sikoa got sent on before Escobar got a big top rope move. Sharon Quinn came in and Escobar hit a dive to him on the outside. Sikoa hit a super kick on Santos and in the ring and hit a splash. I'll give it 7 out of 10. Shame for Escobar to lose, but really good performance for Sikoa. and yeah, I'd love to see him win. JC and Harlan were then on the roof of the arena with their captive, and it looked like they were throwing him off. But then they walked away, letting him go. A bit weird, but whatever. Boa attacked Solo Sikoa backstage, but after his facepaint was gone, Boa had no idea what he'd done. Yeah, I'm interested in that. Let's see where that goes. Before we got Van Wagner versus Manic Blade. Wagner went right after Blade off the bat and sent him into the corner. Blade came back with some fists, but Wagner caught him and hit a slide slam. Wagner was dominating and hit some massive slams before Robert Stone got involved. Blade managed to take Wagner off his feet after the stretch and hit a frog splash. Blade was being tossed around the ring when Wagner went for the pin and picked up the easy win. After the match, Wagner was going off Blade, but Anofi came in and dragged him out the ring before retreating. Yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Still not totally dominant, but definitely better for Wagner than it was last week. Before we got Cora Jade and Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray. Shirai and Jade kicked off the match, and Jade had Io on the ropes when Raquel came in with a tag. Kaylee Ray got some ticks on Gonzalez before she was dropped and hit double team. Ray took out Jade in the ring and sent Gonzalez outside before Io hit a big dive. Kaylee Ray then had a single leg crowd locked in on Jade and hit the KLR bomb. Ray took Gonzalez out from the apron and on NXT 2.0 tagged in Io, but Gonzalez ran around the ring and saved her partner. Shirai then got a massive dropkick for a near fall on Jade before Cora dodged the knees. Ray was tagged in and Jade got the tag to Raquel as well as Gonzalez, who wiped out KLR. Raquel was then heading for the finish, but Jade forced the tag and they started quarrelling on the outside as they looked to hit each other with pins. After a bunch of reversals, Jade got the pin on KLR before she and Raquel argued about it. Mandy showed up on the Tyson John, congratulated them before the show went off the air. Yeah, for me, the right winners of this, decent enough match. Looking forward to the women's title match between those three. Should be a good one for sure. But yeah, overall this week, NXT gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Decent enough episode of NXT this week. Good stuff from start to finish, really. There were some down bits along the way, but on the whole, it was a solid enough, consistent enough show, which was decent. And yeah, I think it was probably one of the better episodes of the NXT 2.0 era. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, remember your thoughts, comments down below, to follow me on Twitter, and links to Twitch for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to the channel on the screen, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.